In the late 19th century, a lonely German philosopher with a piercing gaze and a tragic life looked into the future. He didn't see a utopia of technology and peace. Instead, he saw disaster. He saw a world where humanity would lose its connection to higher meaning. A world where traditional values would rot from the inside out. His name was Friedrich Nietzsche. And in 1882, he dropped a psychological bomb on human history with 4 words that are still misunderstood today. God is dead. But Nietzsche wasn't celebrating. He was terrified. He knew that without a higher power or cosmic rules, humanity would fall into the deepest trap of existence: nihilism, the belief that nothing matters, the belief that life is just a meaningless countdown to death. Look around you today. The anxiety, the numbness, the endless scrolling, the feeling of being trapped in a herd that goes nowhere. Nietzsche predicted all of it. But he didn't leave us in the dark. He gave us a blueprint, a radical, dangerous, and beautiful evolutionary step for the human mind. He called it the Ubermensch, the Overman. If you are tired of being ordinary, if you feel like the modern world is draining your soul, this is your wake-up call. This is Nietzsche's brutal guide to breaking your chains and becoming extraordinary. To understand what the Ubermensch is, we must first understand its opposite. Nietzsche warned us about a creature he called the last man. The last man is the ultimate product of modern society. He is the person who seeks nothing but safety, comfort, and entertainment. He avoids conflict at all costs. He doesn't want to carry heavy burdens. He doesn't want to climb mountains. He wants life to be smooth, predictable, and easy. Nietzsche once wrote, "The last man lives longest." We have discovered happiness, say the last men, and they blink. The last man has no great passion. He doesn't create masterpieces. He consumes them. He doesn't form original thoughts. He adopts the opinions of the crowd, what Nietzsche called the herd mentality. If someone tries to stand out, the herd drags them down. The herd wants everyone to be equally weak, equally comfortable, and equally numb. Ask yourself honestly, how much of your daily life is controlled by the last man inside you? Every time you choose short-term pleasure over long-term growth, every time you silence your own voice just to fit in, every time you complain about your struggles instead of conquering them, you are blinking with the herd. Nietzsche argued that humanity is a bridge, a tightrope stretched over an abyss. On one side is the animal. On the other side is the Ubermensch. And right in the middle, sitting comfortably on the rope, refusing to move, is the last man. How do we cross that bridge? In his masterpiece, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Nietzsche lays out the exact psychological process to achieve extraordinary strength. He calls it the 3 metamorphoses of the spirit. To become the Overman, your mind must transform through 3 distinct stages: the camel, the lion, and finally, the child. The journey begins in the desert. The camel is the beast of burden. It represents discipline, humility, and endurance. The camel doesn't run away from reality. It kneels down and says, "Load me up. Give me your heaviest weights." In this stage, you must master the art of suffering. You study hard. You work long hours. You absorb wisdom, and you take absolute responsibility for your life. You carry the weight of discipline because you know that a mind that has never carried a heavy load remains weak and fragile. Stage 2 is the lion. Carrying weights isn't enough. Eventually, the camel must enter the loneliest part of the desert and transform into a lion. The lion's purpose is to fight for its freedom. It faces a great golden dragon. On every scale of this dragon, words are written in gold. The words say, "Thou shalt," "You must." This dragon represents society's rules, religion, traditional morality, and the expectations of the crowd. The dragon says, "Follow my rules." But the lion roars back with a sacred, "I will." This is where you break free from the herd and stop asking for permission. Stage 3 is the child. A lion can only destroy. It cannot create. To reach the final stage of human potential, the spirit must transform once more into a child. Why a child? Because a child represents a new beginning, a sacred yes. A child plays a game, creates its own rules, and acts out of pure innocence and joy. When you become the child, you are no longer fighting the world. You are creating your own world. You define your own values. You write your own moral code. So, what does an Ubermensch look like in practical terms? There are 3 core psychological pillars that define them. First, the will to power. The Ubermensch does not seek power over other people. Tyrants and dictators are actually weak. They dominate others because they cannot dominate themselves. True will to power is absolute self-mastery. It is the ability to command your emotions, your laziness, and your impulses, and force them to serve your purpose. When the Ubermensch feels pain, they use it as fuel. Second, radical individuality. The Overman does not look at trends to decide how to live. They do not care about social validation or fitting in. They have the courage to be universally misunderstood by the herd, as long as they are true to their own internal vision. And third, amor fati, the love of fate. The average person prays for an easy life. The Ubermensch prays for the strength to endure a difficult one. They practice amor fati, not just accepting reality, but loving it. If they fail, if they are betrayed, if they suffer a tragedy, they do not ask, "Why me?" Instead, they look at the tragedy and say, "Thank you. This is the fire that will forge my steel." But make no mistake, walking this path is terrifyingly dangerous. Nietzsche issued a warning that everyone trying to become extraordinary must remember. He who fights with monsters might take care, lest he thereby become a monster. And if you gaze for long into an abyss, the abyss gazes also into you. When you separate yourself from the herd, when you leave behind comfort and safety, you will experience a profound, crushing loneliness. You will look into the abyss of existence and realize that nobody is coming to save you. There is no safety net. Many people try to become the Ubermensch, but fail. They lose their old values, but fail to create new ones, falling into depression or arrogance. The path to greatness is a tightrope over a deadly drop. One wrong step, and you fall into the void. The world today is designed to keep you small. It wants you to be a consumer. It wants you to be addicted to dopamine, afraid of discomfort, and compliant with the crowd. Modern society wants you to be the last man, but you have a choice. You can stay on the safe side of the bridge, blinking in fake happiness. Or you can choose the path of the camel, the lion, and the child. You can embrace your suffering, conquer your chaos, and become the author of your own destiny. The bridge is before you. The abyss is below you. Will you stay in the crowd, or will you become extraordinary? The choice is yours. If you want to survive the abyss of the modern world, hit that subscribe button and join our circle of thinkers. Leave a comment below. Are you currently the camel, the lion, or the child? Until next time, stay dangerous.